So you want to become a bartender, but you don't have any experience. And you're asking how to become a bartender with no experience. It's sort of a catch-22, isn't it? You don't have experience, but no one's going to give you a job because you don't have any experience. So there is a few ways to get around it. As I said, my name's Jerry. I was a bartender for years, and I started with zero experience. And I'll tell you in a minute how I got involved with that, and maybe ways that that you can do that as well. The first way, which is usually recommended, is take a bartending course, and they run anywhere from about $300 to about $1,000, and that's really good. It'll give you a lot of skills. They'll teach you cocktails. It teaches you mixology, glassware, generally your computer system you're going to be using. If you have generally go through a draft beer part of the course where you're learning how to pour a draft, as well as how to maintain and clean the lines and switching kegs and that sort of thing. It's fairly rudimentary. There's also some great books that I'd really recommend. My old favorite, Mr. Boston's The Official Bartender's Guide. It's been around for decades. It's great. The Complete World Bartending Guide is really good. And if you want to start out simple, my third on that would be Bartending for Dummies. The Dummies books are, kind of to the point, and it works all right. How I got started was I was working in a restaurant and lounge combo. We shared a kind of a common stage, and I started off as a busboy in the restaurant, and I was 18 at the time. And within a couple of weeks, I was promoted to waiter, and as I was waiting, I had my eye on the bartender, and I asked, how would I, learn to be a bartender? And he goes, well, you could come in and you could do all my dirty work for me for free. I went, oh, okay, sure. So I did that. And within no time, I was, I started kind of cleaning the bar and, hoofing kegs and stuff around and doing the dirty work. And then pretty soon I was helping him on the busier Friday or Saturday nights, and he'd give me a, small percentage of the tips. Still wasn't making any money. After about 2 months of that, the boss came in and said, hey, you want to shift on the bar? And that's where it all began. So you can volunteer to work in a bar that and not charge them anything. Another great way is working in weddings and parties. They're a real fun atmosphere and a great way to get started. A friend of mine was started bartending that way, and he got offered a job at a wedding and went from there right into a bar job, which was great. He had zero experience. He'd worked a couple of weddings. Really works well. When I was a bartender, I trained a lot of bartenders that came in and trained for free. They were my swamper, and they did all the dirty work. It was payback time. And you could really very soon see who was really into it and who wasn't. And the people that were into it, they got promoted and they started training heavily, and then started getting paid to train. And then pretty soon they're a bartender, and they would work with me on the weekends. And then pretty soon they were covering my shifts, and then they got into full-time gigs, and I often got them jobs in other places. A few of the downsides, it's a really fun business to be in. It's party, right? A few of the downsides is all of your customers are drunk all the time, and that can get kind of annoying after a while. It's kind of low pay, and the tips can really fluctuate, depends where you're working. A lot of places are minimum wage or less, and some places they don't pay you at all. You just get to work for tips. And again, your friends are partying when you're not. You're serving them, so they're having a blast. You're not so much. And the liabilities of overserving someone and they get into an accident, can get the bar and you sued as well. And that's been happening more and more. So there's a legal kind of thing that's kind of bad about it. These are some of the reasons I'm no longer a bartender. And I've tried lots of other things, but the fun was missing. And now I'm working online, and I love it. The fun's back. It's a blast. It's my own business. I get to do all sorts of cool things, and I do it on my schedule. So if it's party night out of the bar, I get to go. If my friends want to go down to the beach, I get to go, and I get to organize my work around my schedule rather than my schedule, rather than me working around someone else's schedule. My schedule works for me. It's very cool. It's very lucrative, and I'm not surrounded by drunk people unless I want to go to the pub for a pint. If you're interested in what I'm doing, click the link below or go to workwithjerry.com. That's workgerry.com. Have a look at it. It's pretty cool, and it might just be what you're looking for. All right, have an awesome day, guys. Cheers.